Oh yeah, we're back on the air here on GJRB on Spreaker, across America and around the world. Glad to be back as we're doing way out there. We haven't really talked about anything strange in way out there lately, but we got that coming up. And we're also going to do Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files. I think I got some stories on there about UFOs and stuff, so you're going to check that out. And talk about that girl who apparently says that she is a, what am I trying to say, that fish? Anyway, got that coming up. And, my brain isn't what it used to be. Mermaid, that's what it was. Okay, and we got that coming up. There's a whole lot more, and all coming your way here on Way Out There on GJRB Online. But if you feel you're like me, that sometimes you think the weather is manipulated, possibility you could be right. Scott Stevens discussed this on a recent Coast to Coast program with George Norrie. He says that he feels that the weather is being manipulated. That's what he says. He feels that the weather is being controlled by some force. And we're going to talk about this coming up right now here on Way Out There, here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. We get this going here. It's not working.
There are 5.5 billion jobs.
All right, I'm going to let that go. But while we're doing that, I'm going to let's see. Why don't we do this? I'm going to let them go through their little spiel here, and I'm going to just let this go for a couple of seconds while I remind you that you're listening to Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker, and we're just talking about this interesting thing with George Norrie, and we're going to talk about the whole bit with weather manipulation here as soon as we get to it here. I'm going to go and do this here. Okay, let me see here. I want to go to where the point is. I want to go to... Okay. Let's see here. Alright, 4, 5. Okay, here we go. Alright, anyway, he was on a recent Coast to Coast show just about a few weeks ago, probably about the top of the month. And on the program, he says that this weather manipulation he feels is what's going on. He says since he's been a weatherman and he's done weather, he says that the weather that he's doing, the predicting, is kind of futile.
Oh, and I would say in 5 years, George, we won't even. In 5 years, we'll be talking about things that we had no idea even existed today during this discussion.
When are we going to get to the point where we have, and I'm talking about through NASA, rockets to start launching things again?
Boy.
Is it going to happen?
It is going to happen. So first of all,
Okay, I got the wrong one.
One of the highlights every month on Coast to Coast.
So I want to do this. Okay, I got the wrong one. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick promo break here. And then what we'll do is, while that's running, I'll look for that. And because for some apparent reason, I got the wrong one. So why don't we play, I'm going to play Chris Burrell. And then while that's going, I'm going to look for this piece. Okay, so here's Chris Burrell now for a little jazz break, Now and Then.
The dreaming of you and me, and the meaning of how it could be, meaning of love. Time goes by, leaving smiling faces and old eyes. That's the basis of love. It seems so insane the way I'm feeling. Cause just one kiss that set me reeling. It's times like this feel like stealing the moon from the sky. Can't explain the way I feel for you, but now and then it's so unreal but true. But then again, that's the feeling called love. So insane the way I'm feeling. Cause just one kiss has set me reeling. It's times like this I feel like stealing the moon from the sky. Oh, I can't explain the way I feel for you, but now and then it's so unreal but true. But then again, that's a feeling called love. Feeling called love. Feeling called love.
There you go. Great song there by Chris Burrell. One of our newer artists on our jazz format, or our jazz playlist. It's called Now and Then on GJRB on Way Out There on GJRB Online on Spreaker. And every once in a while when I feel the need to play a song just to set something up, that's what I do. Okay? Kind of makes it more variety in the program, especially when my voice gets tired. So once in a while you'll hear a song on our talk shows as well. But that's just to kind of fill some space while I get things set up. So every once in a while I'm going to do that. I'm going to play a song just to get things set up. All right, well, now we're here, and we're talking about weather manipulation. Scott Stevens is a meteorologist. He was talking recently on Coast to Coast about the fact that he was a weatherman. And he talked to George Norrie recently about the fact that he feels that the weather is being manipulated. And he was a weatherman for for a local station. I don't know which one. And he talked about how weather predicting is so futile that sometimes things just go wrong.
Doing as a weatherman on the air was almost futile. Almost futile. We had the technology, we had the models, we had the expertise and understanding of the weather and climate processes, and yet so many forecasts went horribly wrong. And why? Why? And it ended up being this manipulation of the weather. That is, storm by storm, square mile by square mile, they know what's going on. And you've had so many shows with military guys and talking about technologies that aren't from this era. They are so far advanced of their understanding of not just this dimension, but other dimensions and other technologies and the computing power that puts, Intel and Apple and these computers literally to shame. So they can have full situational awareness of what's happening on this planet, whether it's weather, whether it's in the oceans, or just the massive amounts of information that is being swept up by, the intelligence agencies. So I got there. Weather's absolutely controlled.
So let's assume that they are controlling the weather. What are they doing it for? Are they doing it to give us better weather? Are they doing it to create droughts? What are they trying to do?
I think ultimately it comes down to, to money. You know, if you can make money in orange juice futures or in moving natural gas because you've got, you know, weeks ahead of time there's an Arctic blast coming, or simply as a form, as Bill Clinton's defense secretary called it, eco-terrorism, something as base, and I don't like the word evil, but something as disruptive as that. And if you've got a technology that menaces a civilization, and I'm talking about humanity as a whole, menacing this civilization by oscillating us. So we're going through, like California, years of drought, crippling drought when we talk about agriculture and sustainability, you know, in the health of the creeks, the rivers, the streams, the poor forests, and how many hundreds of millions of trees have died across the West in the last 30 to 40 years. Literally hundreds of millions of trees are dead. Colorado forests decimated by this engineering. And so then you take California too dry, and then all of a sudden this winter, you've got these dams, Orville Dam, for example, you know, being breached because there's so much water coming.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so here we are already in the first week of April, which is typically the peak snowpack. You know, April 1 is the benchmark. That for years, you know, the water managers go to the mountains. That April 1 mark is the high snow mark. And from that, water budgets are determined all across the West, whether it's for hydroelectric power, which keeps our air conditioners going, which keeps the hay, the alfalfa growing in the fields, and the corn, and the potatoes, and the beets, and the orchards. All of those things depend on that high snow mark on April 1. And this year, we reached that mark in February, and the snows came, and they're still coming. And even now, as I look out 2 weeks, California's not done with the rain.
Is that good, though? I mean, they were screaming they had a drought.
Yeah, and there are two ways to look at this, George. Number one, the snow comes out of the mountains gently, and that April remains cool-ish, or at least with normal to slightly below normal temperatures, so the water doesn't come down too fast. Now, the deep water aquifers take sometimes months, but usually years and occasionally decades to recharge. So it wouldn't matter how much water was up there this year, only so much is going to get in, going to be able to recharge those deep water aquifers. The more superficial ones will be in glorious shape as we move through the next year. So it really depends on the spring melt. But I see the cool weather persisting for at least the next 14 days. And so the slower the snow comes out of these mountains, the better off the West will be.
I think.
And there you go. Well, you know, he might have a point there. I believe that it's possible that we're getting some of the weather control. He states that the Federal Reserve, the central banking agency, has a flat currency, and he's impressed with the Bitcoin and other innovative currencies. The system hasn't been contaminated with the banking system. Hasn't been contaminated with banking system, government establishment, but he noted it anticipate up to about 5 orders of magnitude of growth for Bitcoin and other crypto currencies. And now they're invested in Bitcoin. It's a potential for price appreciation by changing our monetary system, by changing it. And it makes more likely that our new forms of energy, medicine, and technology break out. Possibility that make the old system, such as those run by the big corporations, obsolete. So it's just all about change here. All about change here. And, have to wonder about that. Although, does explain what chemtrails are. It does explain why they're up there. And I've seen it, okay? Like I said, when I walk my dog, sometimes I see these chemtrails. And they're reflecting off the bright sunlight when the sun goes down. And, I often wondered about that. about all these chemtrails and what kind of poison is coming from them. And it's just one of those things that makes you go, could it be that our weather is controlled like that? What's going on? And so, that pretty much, I think it's possible. So we'll talk about that next hour. What you think about weather manipulation? Is it possible? I think it is. To be honest with you, I really do. I think it is. I think that weather, the whole weather. Because look, here in Clinton, Iowa, and I'll do weather on the fives here in a couple of minutes. As we go into the break, that it's been chilly today. It's like really, really cold. I mean, I was cold last night, and it was like freezing. You know what I mean? And why are we getting temperature? Like yesterday, I think parts of Iowa, which are in our North State here right now, had snow. Literally, they had sleet. They had snow. I don't know what parts of Iowa, but they've had snow. And, why? We're getting this snow. Just have to wonder. Being that this is the time of year when we're supposed to get warmer weather. And unfortunately, like I said before, what I have to do is get my weather from the Weather Nation, because I think I'd have better luck with it. Because my weather channel is not working. It's not. It's just stuck all the time. And I'm gonna delete it, and I'm gonna start all over again. That whole account, I'm gonna redo it, and put the. I'm gonna write down my password, and then put it on the tablet. So that when I'm going to bring the tablet back in here, as I haven't used it at all today. I usually bring the tablet in here to help me with my show, to take the load off the computer, especially if I have to read something. And since I don't have the printer yet, as soon as I get the ink, I'll be able to print a little bit of my news stories again. And I think it'll make it a lot more better to... But last I checked, the temperature here was 45 degrees. It was supposed to get up to 52, but it only 45 degrees. And like I said before, I don't know. Since I'm having trouble with that weather channel, I'm going to dump weather on the 5 for the rest of the show. We'll try to do a weather forecast, but if we don't get one done, I'm not going to worry about it. Because I'm going to go back, delete my account, and I'm going to reinstall it with a new account. And I'm going to put the password on in the notebook, and then I'm going to enter it on the tablet, so that I could do weather on the 5s and read off the tablet. Because I could set it up easier that way. So that's what I'm going to do until I get a printer. Alright, this is the Gary Russin here on GJRB Online. This is Way Out There. It's a Freestyle Friday. That means anything goes, and usually does here. And I'll be right back with more coming right up. So stay with me, and we'll have more fun as we continue the strange and the bizarre Way Out There on GJRB. Be right back.